Hey everybody, what we have here is a 6-inch table fan with LED lights. This fan was a Christmas present from my parents back in December of 2008, and I've had it ever since. From January 2009 until about, I'm going to say May of 2011, it got a lot of use for when I was in my college dorm room, and if I just need like a little bit of like a breeze or something, nothing major, but just like a little bit of airflow if you want. There's no name on this from as far as I can tell. It's just called a 6-inch table fan with LED lights. I haven't found any brand name on it whatsoever. I believe they got this from one of those gadgets and gizmo store that are around some malls in your area. And this particular fan has two models. Okay, there's a purple model and there's a blue model. Okay, on the purple model, when the blades are spinning, it has some kind of message that appears across one of the blades where the LEDs are located. And for the purple model, it'll show 8 different messages, one at once. If you want to pause the video and read that, you can go ahead. And on the blue model, there's on one of the 3 blades, there's a row of 4 LED lights, and they have a certain pattern to them. I guess frequency is the word. I'm not quite sure. And when the blade is spinning and those frequencies change, it gives a really cool display on the fan blade itself when it runs. And on the blue model right here, you can see that it tells you what it has right there, and you can pause the video if you want to read that as well. And inside the box is the owner's manual, which I'll show to you right now. Okay. And once again, if you want to once it focuses, hopefully you can read that okay. If you want to pause the video and read that, go ahead. But basically it explains to you what each options are, what it does. It's an oscillating fan too. Your safety precautions and your typical warnings, everything's, and it says there proudly on the bottom, made in China. Look at that. The interesting thing though about this owner's manual, it's only in English. So I was rather impressed to see that. And like I said, it says there proudly on the piece of paper, made in China. And here's the fan right here, as you can see. And yes, it is very much a made in China fan. Lots of plastic. The only metal part is this front grate right here, which is kind of an interesting pattern, I must say. But yeah, all around you got plastic. But I mean, it's supposed to be like a little fun fan, so I guess I can kind of see it not being so bad for that reason. On the back, it has a simple mechanical on-off switch. You have your oscillator switch on top. I think that's what you call that switch. And then you have low and high. Low speed is just the fan itself, and high speed activates the LED lights with the fan going at high speed. And if I go on the bottom here, you can get the ratings for it. Where is it? Right there. There's the model number and everything. 120 volts, 60 hertz, and the rated power is 20 watts. And what I've actually been doing here is around 2011 when I started using this less. Let me just get the wire out of the base here. Hold on a second. There we go. Okay, so like I said, around 2011 is when I stopped using this, and one of the things I noticed was, the fan was starting to run slower, of course. So I'm thinking, oh God, is the motor dying out? No, I think just what happened was it just needed to have some oiling done to it, and then this is the first time this fan has been out of the box since 2011. So it's been in there all these years. And what I've been using to oil the fan motor is this. A 3-in-1 motor oil, SAE 20. I hear that's supposed to be good for motors, so that's what I've been using. And for the most part, it's been working pretty well. I just, I took the back cover off. I was easily able to get to the rear part of the motor and oil that. The front part was a lot more difficult, and it's not very easy to detach it because there's like a circuit board up here, obviously for the LED lights. But I did exactly what I could. I used a decent amount of it, and it seems to have worked pretty well. So It's running. It's definitely running better than it did back when I last used it. So there's definitely that, and really, I really can't complain much. So it does seem to be doing what it should be doing. So, okay, let's go ahead and get this going, and I'll show you how it works. And kind of like how when we first brought the dehumidifier down here, I don't have a workbench yet over there yet, so we can't really use those outlets for the time being. Well, we could, but instead I just did it the cheap way, of course, just going by the good old extension cord over to there. So, all right, so then let's go ahead and turn this on. If you look very carefully, you can kind of see you see the 4 LED lights right there on that one blade. That's how it works. You know what, let me show you the back quickly before I turn it on. That blade has the little circuit board strip, as you can see right there, okay? And the other 2 blades have those little weights on the end of them, I guess to kind of help balance things out for, you know, what it's worth. It's a plastic blade and everything, but anyway, so we'll go right ahead and we'll start with low speed. It's a very quiet fan, and actually, that sounds better than it did before, so I think the oil's finally taking effect. I'm happy about that. It does sound better than before. Little breeze. Maybe you heard that or not. If I stand back a few feet, like to about... I think like maybe, let's see, I'm 6'1", so maybe like 7 or 8 feet is where you kind of stop feeling it, I think. So it does give you a little bit of a breeze. Again, it's a table fan, so it's meant for something like, you know, smaller. And like I said, it's very quiet on low speed and runs very well. So let's go ahead and watch the oscillation go. When the fan turns to the right, it kind of like jerks a little bit. Okay, it seemed okay there, but let's see what happens when it does it again. Yeah, see that? Like how it does that a little bit? I'm not quite sure why it does that. Maybe I need to like grease up the gears a little bit more. It didn't look too bad when I had the back cover off, but it's probably what it needs. Probably just needs a little bit of maintenance work on it, if you want to call it that. Okay, so let's stop that. All right. Now, let's go ahead and switch this over to high speed, and wait till you see this. Yeah, check that out. Yeah, that high speed sounds just like I remember from years ago, so the oiling is just what it needed. Nice blue LED light here. The camera's making it brighter than it actually is, but it's a very nice light right there. And it's a very cool light show to have in your dorm room, especially when you have your lights off. So it's cool for that. So if I stand back again, let's see. Maybe like a couple feet more, like maybe 2 or 3 feet more is how much more you can feel when it's on high speed. But you can see it really going right there. So there's a blue LED on the center of the blade, or the hub right there, as you can see. It shines on this part right here, and all the other 4 lights are, you know, have their own frequency or whatever of flashing, and it gives you the different patterns on the blades, which is really awesome. The camera may not be picking it up very well, but from the outside in, it's red, green, blue, and then amber. If you go to the back of the fan, not too much to see, but you can kind of see the blue LED on the front there. And let's go ahead and do the oscillation with high speed. Yeah, this fan actually sounds much better than it did before, so I'm very happy about that. And it is oscillating pretty smoothly. It just has that jerk when it goes towards the right direction. Like right there, see that? Not quite sure what it is, but it's nothing too serious or like bad, whatever you want to call it. Yeah, honestly, this is a really cool fan. I haven't, like I said, it's been over 6 years since I've used it, and I guess it needed a good oiling from all the years I used it beforehand. But yeah, it sounds much better. Okay, you know what I'll do now? Wait for the fan to go back to the middle, then I'll stop the oscillation. Okay, just like that. Now let me go ahead and actually shut off the main lights down here. And you can kind of get a good idea of what it's going to look like. It's going to be pretty cool. All right. Pretty cool, I think. And we'll go ahead and let it do the oscillation again. Really, really cool design it has going. And the lights are pretty cool, like the whole thing when the lights are off. And on the back here as well. Yeah. Really, really cool. Very happy with how this is sounding. I'm glad the oiling kind of did the trick for it. Alright, let me go get the lights back on. Okay. And obviously, anytime you want, if you want the fan to run without the lights, just put it back down to low speed. See, it just goes back to the way it was, just the airflow itself. And like I said, even though you have to go to low speed to not have the lights, for just a table fan, it's really all you need. It doesn't need to be like the airflow that you get from box fans. This is pretty good. Fan, and then off is right in the middle. You can see it spin down. It's a little fast, but it's definitely slower than it was from the last time how it was before I oiled it. So anyway, guys, there you go. There's basically your 6-inch fan with LED lights. Again, I don't quite know the brand name. Never saw any on the box of the fan itself, but I think my parents got it from a Gadgets and Gizmo store. And like I said, they got this fan back in 2008, so I doubt it's still around today. I certainly haven't seen them, but maybe you guys have. Cool little fan. Like I said, definitely made in China. But if you keep it oiled and everything else, it seems to do pretty well. And I'm sure if you have kids, it'd be a very fun thing to have if you have one, okay? But maybe they have different fans out there like this nowadays under different brands. Who knows? And anyway, guys, there you have it. Cool little device, and glad I showed it to you, okay? So as usual, thank you very much for watching, and take care.